Yeah, so that like we were talking about it, me and Dolt the other day. He wanted to do like a video, what's the word, testimonial kind of thing for his coaching. I was like, yeah, sweet, let's do it. And we're sort of diving into where we come from. With my first prep, it was really just and kind of like that positive we talked about before with my first prep, the position I was in, and it's not to make it sour or salty or anything, but Dad passed away, my missus broke up with me, Mum had her own cancers and tumor to go through, and it was all in this period where like everything around me was falling to shit, and I was like, no matter what I do for the next 12 months, you do not let me not make prep. Like no matter what I do or how bitchy I become, whatever, it's like I'm paying you money essentially to make sure I get there, and then we worry about winning after that.
It's kind of like a good outlet, right? Like,
yeah,
it gives you something to actually focus on.
Not even so much an outlet. It was like, this is one thing I know I have control over, that nothing can take me.
It's the one thing you have control over.
I can absolutely control this and not give a fuck what anyone else says or does. And I can bring my best self to it no matter what. I mean, there was like, the stresses and stuff like that were going on. It could have been better. The entire environment could have been better. But I knew for a fact that if I could get through it this time, then the next time would be even better. So, I mean, we started at like going through all the stress and stuff, I was physically getting ill, eating 2,500 calories. Like physically just could not digest food to the point it was like I was just feeling sick. But I knew that if I used that as an excuse to get out and not do it, which again is another positive to bodybuilding, is like it showed me that I could do something I set my mind to. And it was like, all right, cool, I'm going to suffer for a while just because it's how my body's responding and reacting. Great. But this time, having like 2 years now of like conducive training environments, food, periodization of programming, and getting to a point where I can actually start to take in large quantities of food, handle large volumes of training, sleep better, rest better, recover better, take it all more seriously, is like, though I go through pretty fluffy phases, I'm also willing to do that because all that matters to me is show day. Yeah. So like that.
I think any good bodybuilder like that, you've got to go through periods, at least some in some off seasons, especially I think earlier in your bodybuilding career when, you're making I suppose you're building your foundation physique, like you're building the mass you've made that you've got, especially if you're pushing up a weight class too. Like, bro, no one's pushing up a weight class, lean gaining or main gaining throughout your season. Like, you're going to have to fucking push the food and you're going to have to push probably the body fat up as well in order to get there. Otherwise, you'll just stay the same weight.
Yeah. And it's been like, that's the coolest part that's been over like the last 2 years, to see, again, another cool part of it when you really commit to, I think the lifestyle of it and the overall process of it is that I've gone through from like stage weight was 81.4 at Arnold's to go up to then 106. I think it might have been like 6 or 9 months after. And then we cut back to 89. And that was about me I think it was like 6%. So still a few more kilos I could pull off that look. Then we went back up to 110. So like in the space of 2.5 years, it's been like, 40, 50, 60 kilos of weight gained and lost. And like, that's just, like, it's just cool to see what the body is capable of doing, and like how that whole lifestyle you can just do that.
Eating disorder, bro.
Yeah, it's an eating disorder.
And like, you wouldn't say like that, bodybuilding takes away from your life that much either. And look all the progress you've made. Like, you still come down here and you're still able to eat some nice food and you're still able to go out and enjoy yourself. Like, it doesn't need to take away, especially in the off season, I think. No. Unless your literal wage depends on it and you're like trying to be a top 10 Olympian or trying to be a pro, like, I don't feel like it needs to take away from your life. It can add positively to your life as well. 100%. It just depends on how serious you actually take the endeavor.
Any person that's successful at anything has to attribute some form of success or set up some forms in their life to discipline, habit formation, routine, structure, scheduling. Like, you can't run a 7-8 figure business on a whim and just start making shit up as you go. Like, you start to data analysis, you start to do like market tracking, you start to do like assessments of other staff members or your own lifestyle. Like, where can I fit in to be more efficient or improve this or like do better at this? Bodybuilding encourages that. Like, that whole, like, you really have to do like a self audit and self analysis of like, where do I suck? Where can I be better? How much more efficient can I be? Am I really pushing my training intensities as I try and claim I am? Like we were saying before, it's that difference of like the online coach who looks like an online coach versus someone who's actually busy being an online coach. Like, there's that difference in level of how it's all set up. And I think bodybuilding just offers like that positive aspect to it that you can really think about it, and you have to put yourself on blast in a positive, like, constructive reflection and see where you suck and where you can be better and how you can improve and what you can do differently. There's like, self audits should be a common thing for everyone. And if you think you're not good, or if you think you're already good and can't get better, you're full of shit and you're already going to suck anyway.
Like, instantly, if anyone is a decent competitor, instantly what they're doing at the end of a contest prep is they're going back through, analyzing their entire physique and then progressing on forward from there. They're not just continuing to train in a random manner. They're like, okay, this muscle group sucked, this muscle group sucked, this muscle group sucked. What can I do now surrounding my programming in order to, and nutrition variables to bring this body
you'd
part
be going
up for the
through
future.
not just the actual physique, you'd be going through the training parameters as well. And then if you're enhanced, you'd probably look at the enhanced protocols that you use, the nutrition, and match up and, you know, go through all of it and be like, okay, this is where I need to make better improvements or a better exercise selection, set selection, rep selection for these body parts. And it's like, this is where I fucked up. And this, you can see it on the physique. It's like, I obviously didn't do enough for my shoulders, and I thought that I did. So this time I'm going to have to do more for my shoulders on the next blocks. So it's like, if you're not doing that needs analysis and you're not doing that reflective stuff, like, what's the point? What are you doing? Yeah, like, I don't see it. I don't get it. People are stupid.
Yeah, and that's one of the the beauties of bodybuilding is that like being able to do that then applies to other areas of your life. And if you're unable of doing that, I dare say you're unable of doing it in other areas of your life. Like if you can't take constructive criticism, from judges, like firstly, if you're gonna go and like after the show cry because like a judge pointed out your shitty calves, me,
They point that out.
Or, what's that?
They pointed out.
No, actually,
calves are probably the one body part that you can get away with because no one gives a fuck about calves.
Yeah, surprisingly, they told me like, oh, you could do some more arm training. I was like,
Big Remy's calves suck.
Yeah, oh yeah. To me,
You know?
my whole thing is like, I just always knew I was like, I need more legs, and they didn't say that first. I was like, I'm gonna train legs. I don't care what you say.
What was your feedback from your last show?
Feedback was pretty much just get a little bit drier, and catch up my upper body. Actually, they said I should have more upper body, but like at the time I had very small legs, so like to them it was like maybe upper body could do some more work. I don't know. Posing got full points, which is cool. Like that was good. And yeah, they said it could have been a little bit more dry, lower to top. So I was like, I think it was just a very simple fact that came down to stress responses that like I couldn't have done any more work. I couldn't have done any more like cardio output, stick to the calories. Like I think I was pushing like 1250 towards the back end. Like I had to suck for a while there. And that's not a reflection of DOT. That was just how my body was responding to food. It was just got to push it down. There was just that stress hold that just like the last bits of fat just wouldn't come off. Like everything going on in life, I just couldn't get more than 6.5 hours sleep. I was just anxious, stressed, like all that sort of stuff. All things I know of now to do differently and that we are aware of. But there's just that lower half just was that tad more watery than the top half. Like my back had lines in it and shit that I didn't even know existed. But then through hammies and stuff like that, just could have had a bit more cuts through them. Glutes could have been a little bit more drier. Just little things like that.
Yeah. You know what my feedback was? Basically, it was nothing surrounding the actual thing on the day. It was like amazing physique, conditioning was spot on, head and shoulders above the other guys.
10.
Just don't cross over to the dark side.
Oh,
That was legitimately in my feedback.
oh my God.
That was literally what my feedback was. And I was just like, I read that and I was like,
Cool. I mean, you take the positives.
Well, guess what I'm doing?
thanks. Thanks.
Fuck you guys.
Thanks for that.
And it was then I decided.
It was at that
was that
point
moment.
they realized they'd fucked up.
It was at that point they realized I'd injected the week before. Nah.